What do you fear most? Fear of failure or fear of success? Both of them will hold you back. Learn to harness confidence and live a fearless life. Today on Genuinely You. Every single person is powerful, perfect as they are. And I believe we all have a role to play in making this world a better place. My purpose is to help people step into their power. It's really common for people to get to a stage in their lives when, despite having all the trappings of success, they begin to think about life differently. They start to question, is this it? They begin to consider what the rest of their life holds and what their legacy might be. Ask yourself, do you feel truly fulfilled by your life? Do you have a sense of purpose, feel satisfied and complete? Do you feel that there's something missing? Being in a loving relationship, achieving success, having a healthy bank balance and having the trappings of success are no guarantee that you'll feel happy and fulfilled. If you're feeling that there's something missing in your life, I suggest that this comes from one of two things: believing that you're not enough, or an intuitive realization that you're not fulfilling your true purpose in life. Over this episode, I'll be exploring the theme of purpose with you and share with you my approach to living a life of purpose, which I believe is a vital factor in being truly happy and fulfilled. Firstly, I'd like to make a distinction between knowing your purpose in life and living a life with purpose, although I think they're very closely aligned. Living a life with purpose is about the way in which you live your life, no matter what activity you're engaged in. You've got a choice how you approach it and actually do it. On the one hand, you could simply go through the motions, be half-hearted, think it's beneath you, or resent doing. On the other, you can choose to engage fully, to do your best and to make the best of the situation and take a pride in a job well done. I'm reminded of a story that Tony Robbins told where he was in an ashram in India washing up. The place was very, very low ceilings and it was very hot, and on the first day he spent the day feeling miserable. He was crouched down and doing a job that he hated. But he talked to himself overnight and he decided to be the best washer-upper that he could be, and he set out to make everybody else enjoy the experience too. What a difference that mindset change made. So, set yourself a challenge, wash up, sweep the yard, but do it with purpose. Be in the moment. Next time you eat chocolate, savour it, or you have a cup of coffee, actually take the time to taste. Doing things with purpose is about living mindfully, with appreciation and gratitude, to live in the moment and to live fully with love and enthusiasm. Living a life of purpose requires you to accept and embrace the very essence of you. And having studied many people who have lived a life of happiness and fulfillment, there are certain things which they all have in common. That they recognise they are enough and practice ongoing self-care. They recognise that purpose and fulfillment are not to be found in material things. That time spent on serving the needs of others creates a huge sense of purpose and fulfillment. They understand the importance of living life fully and making the most of each and every day. They appreciate the power of laughter and playfulness and light in their lives. They take full responsibility for bringing joy into their own lives rather than expecting others to do it, and they actually want to do it for others. They live every day in a way which ensures there's no need for regret. They recognise life isn't always easy or uncomplicated, and they make the best of each situation, recognising that greater learning takes place in times of turbulence and challenge. They see vulnerability as a strength. They believe everything we learn is preparing us for something greater. They make lemonade out of lemons that life brings. They challenge themselves to ever greater heights, and they appreciate the natural world and do what they can to preserve it. They're appreciative and grateful and share with others. They have faith in themselves and the goodness of life and what life offers. For me, it's all about recognising that you are enough. It's no accident that I put this at the top of my list. Learning to love and appreciate yourself just as you are, for all your gifts and imperfections, is critical if you're to achieve lasting happiness and fulfilment. There is a paradox. Many people are spurred to achieve ever greater success because they're trying to feel better about themselves. The momentary feelings of success, satisfaction and achievement are short-lived and quickly overlaid by their feeling that they're not good enough. A feeling of not being enough, of not measuring up, leads some people to look for ways to minimise the pain, to anaesthetise themselves from the negative emotions. Food, alcohol, drugs, hoarding, sex and shopping are commonly used to mask the pain of feeling inadequate. Believing you are enough is not about being complacent. It's about appreciating yourself as you are, and yet being open to ongoing growth and learning. Learning to be a human being rather than a human doing has been one of my greatest lessons. Being requires you to be in the moment. We only have this moment. Once it's past, there's no way of retrieving it. There is no way of changing the past, no matter how much you regret or worry about it. Worrying about the future will not actively change the outcome. Choose to get out of your own way and be fully present. Give yourself the time and space to access your inner wisdom, your wise guide. It'll offer you the opportunity to recognise what's truly important to you and why. So what constitutes your life purpose, and how will you know if you're on the right path? Some people have an innate sense of their life's purpose very early in life, and they follow their dream and feel happy and fulfilled as a result. Others happily go through life until one day they begin to think, is this it? And start to search for whatever will give them a knowing that they're complete. Clients often report a deep gut feel around purpose. People begin to ask themselves, what will be my legacy? I believe that living your purpose is about being of service to others, living from a place of love rather than fear, opening your heart to be compassionate, non-judgmental and playful. It's about giving and receiving. Living your purpose is about knowing you are enough, that you have a deep faith in yourself when you're being authentically, genuinely your best self. We've been talking about living your purpose and feeling that you are enough. And I'd like to share with you today a story that actually isn't mine. Marissa Peers, who is a famous hypnotherapist, was in LA when she was called upon by the producer of a TV show. The star of the show was being a ripe prima donna, and he was threatening to leave the set. He was only halfway through a 24-episode run, and the producer knew that if he walked off the set, all of the work to date would be lost. She said of course she would go, but he said to her a very strange thing and said, what sort of car do you drive? And she said, I drive a Ford. He said, don't turn up in that because he won't see you. Go in a Porsche or Ferrari. Well, off she went. He opened the door and he asked her what that piece of rubbish was doing on his forecourt. And she said, well, I'm here now. Let me in. You can't help me, he said. And she said, well, I think I know what the problem is. They went in, and as he started talking, what became clear is that he had been the son of a very ambitious lawyer who had wanted him to follow in his footsteps. When he told his father that he wanted to be an actor, his father said, if you go off to be an actor, then I will disown you. He decided to go, and actually his father died long before he'd become famous. He was an Oscar winner. Marissa said to him, the problem with you is that you don't feel enough, and that everything that you do will never be enough until you have a great relationship with yourself. She took a red lipstick and she wrote on every single mirror in his house, I am enough. She put it as a screensaver on his computer, she put it on his phone, and she asked him to say with real Wellian conviction every time he saw them, went past them, I am enough. A month later, he phoned her and said, do you know what? I feel really different. And a few months later, he phoned her and said, I'm dating a real person, not a supermodel. I've never been happier. Now, I heard this story and I thought, there must be something in this. And I was working with a women's empowerment group at the time. So I made some posters. And these posters are I am enough posters, because red lipstick is an absolute pain to get off mirrors. And what I did was I asked each of the ladies to put up half a dozen of these around the house, on their wardrobe door, in the bathroom, one on the kitchen door, one in the car, one at work. And every time they went past them for a month, to say to themselves, with Welly, I am enough. But I actually changed it slightly and I asked them to say it 3 times. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I also tried it myself. When we met a month later, I was absolutely amazed at the difference. People were talking about how transformational it had been, how they felt more assertive, more in control, how they began to feel so much more confident and better about themselves. Do you feel enough? Do you give yourself the very best opportunities in life, or do you treat yourself badly? A sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, a sense of being enough is absolutely critical if you want to live a happy, successful and fulfilling life, and do it in a sustained way. It's mailbag time again, and we're going to look at stepping into your power and being enough, and the questions that people ask. And number 1, what I'm doing pays really well, but it doesn't fill me up, and there's a real tension there. What should I do? Well, my first response to you is, do you know what actually fills you up? If you do, that's great. Then think about how you might organise things to do more of whatever that happens to be. But it's common for people to look at life as being all or nothing, black or white. And there are often ways of finding a different model that works better, a hybrid or a tabby cat of shades of grey. Is it possible to undertake the things which fill you up outside work, or to work part-time and establish the other activities gradually? Ideally, create a strategic plan which includes giving yourself a financial buffer while you get things established. If you're not sure what actually fills you up, you'll be surprised how often this is the case. It's vital to work on the relationship you have with you. Remember, you are enough. Without this, nothing will ever truly fill you up. Having done that, be curious. Try things on for size. Be playful and light, and that will help enormously. Allow yourself time to just be, so you have the space to listen to that inner voice, your intuition. Number 2, I have a strong feeling about what I feel is my purpose, but how do I know to trust it? It would be really interesting to know whether you doubt your feelings in life generally, or only to do with knowing your purpose. If you doubt yourself generally, it'll be important to work on creating more empowering beliefs about yourself and your ability to make wise decisions. Ask yourself what evidence you're using to support your beliefs. We've all made mistakes in life. It's where we do our greatest learning. It's all too easy to focus on everything that hasn't worked out, but that won't be the whole story. Think about when you've got things right too. If you have a strong feeling about what you think is your purpose, sit with it, embrace it, and ask yourself how you can embody it in your everyday life. How you achieve it will evolve over time. Be open to the opportunities which present themselves. Number 3, I feel I know what my purpose is, but every time I move towards it, things never work out. It's really common for us to create a blueprint in our minds of how things should work out. When they don't fit our blueprint exactly, we interpret that as failure. Be more prepared to go with the flow, to be open to things panning out differently. It often creates results more amazing than you could ever have thought possible. Of course, there'll be times when we meet challenges, dead ends, and false starts, and it takes faith to keep going despite the problems. It's incredibly helpful to create a network of like-minded and supportive people who can support, encourage and mentor you. Belonging to a group such as the Thrive Together tribe offers that to its members. We're almost at the end of this episode, so I'd like to leave you, as always, with 3 things to think about. They have the potential to enhance the quality of your life if you incorporate them into your everyday life. Number 1, you are enough. Believe in yourself and watch how life expands. You're not broken, you don't need fixing, and you're not a victim unless you choose to be. You are enough. Time to embrace who you are. Use the I am enough exercise for a month, but do it with real welly, real conviction. Number 2, every act of kindness and compassion is important. Start by treating yourself with kindness and compassion. It's been said that something as small as the flutter of a butterfly's wing can ultimately cause a typhoon halfway around the world. Just think of the ripple effect created by every act of kindness and compassion that you make. Most people I come across find it easier to be kind to others, even strangers, than they find being kind to themselves. Think about how you can incorporate random acts of kindness to others and planned acts of kindness to you on a regular basis. Number 3, choose to live your life with enthusiasm and passion. Make the most of every single day. Even the greyest day will be enhanced by living in the moment. I believe a life well lived is one where you can say, I did my best to make every day count. I was kind and compassionate to myself and others, and I cared deeply about making a positive difference. It's been my pleasure to be with you today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the last program in this series, where we focus on developing greater spiritual awareness and the next step. So discover how you can step into a life of inspiration, creativity and power, where it feels as if the universe is working closely with you, helping you live a happy, abundant and fulfilling life. Until then, be genuinely you. Want to learn more? Grab a copy of my #1 best-selling book, Thriving Not Surviving, the 5 Secret Pathways to Happiness, Success and Fulfillment, on Amazon or wherever good books are sold.